Yeah, it was good. So basically, we going into a best players under 25 list. I was looking, man, and some people just missed the cut, man. People like Bradley Beal and those boys, they just missed the cut. But you know what? Right now, I'm not too hot on Bradley Beal right now. After his playoffs performance, that was a little weak. It was decent, but it was a little weak. Came up a little short. But we're gonna go into the best players under 25, and these are basically players that you want to start your squad with. If you're a franchise, well, I'm not ranking them in order. I'm just bringing them up as I think of them. You know, you got these players. Basically, you can build a franchise around them, most likely, potentially. So first we're gonna start off. I'm not too hot on this dude right now. We got Giannis Antetokounmpo, the Greek freak up there in Milwaukee. Some of his strengths are like athleticism, defense, but this motherfucker can't shoot, man. This dude couldn't shoot a fucking orange into an ocean, man. My man couldn't shoot nothing, man. This man, because of that, he can't space the floor. And when you can't space the floor, you got clogged paint, inefficient offense all day, every day. That's why his ass got bounced this year. Again, first round by the Celtics. Yeah, I went to a game 7, but them boys had no superstar leaders. Both of their best players were down, Gordon Hayward and Kyrie Irving. No excuse to lose that series. Milwaukee was fully healthy. Let's move on, man. Ben Simmons. My thing on Ben Simmons is this, right? He's got such great basketball IQ and court vision and passing skills. But my main problem with him is not just his jump shot, but it's his lack of interest in developing that jump shot, right? Because, we'll see. We'll see how the preseason goes. We'll see how regular season goes. But if his jump shot isn't fixed, because the reason I say that is because he was already in the league for about a year. He was already in the league for about a year solid before he actually started his rookie year. So he's seen the NBA. This wasn't like this was his first time, it was his real rookie year. And, he could just get by off saying, well, I didn't know. I didn't know how much you needed the jump shot that I was going to get through. You were watching the games. You were there courtside. You saw. You were there in practice. You saw how much it's needed. Joel Embiid, your teammate, can outshoot you. That's a no-no. He's a center. That's a no-no. Also, even though he has great court IQ and all that stuff, his clutch play has been a little weak lately. Clutch play isn't just making the bucket at the end. It's also finishing games. You got to make the right play at all times when it comes down to the clutch. So a clutch play could be getting the steal at the right time, could be getting a block at the right time, that kind of stuff. Then we're gonna go on to Joel Embiid. So my thing with Joel Embiid is he's so versatile, but some of his weaknesses, man, his durability is questionable. It's questionable as fuck because he's got glass chin all over the place. It's ridiculous. All right, so we have yet to see him play a full healthy season. No scuffs, no breaks, no nothing. All right, and also his endurance was questionable because in the playoffs, we saw him get tired. Versus the Heat, motherfucker looked tired, man. Third, fourth quarter, like he breathing a little hard, man. Shit was crazy. I didn't know it's playoff ball and everything like that. And this is his first time playing playoff ball. But shit, you would have thought dude talking this much out his damn lip. You thought he was gonna he's gonna come ready. But he's got a lot of leadership skills in him, similar to Shaq. Not like Magic Johnson or anything like that. I actually think Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons are like a new version of Penny and Shaq, except less scoring from Ben Simmons, but his overall impact in the game is similar to Penny Hardaway's. And Shaq, big old center, goofy motherfucker. That's similar to what Joel Embiid brings to the table. Then we're gonna move on to Karl Anthony Towns, who I'm not hot on right now either. He can score and he can rebound, but his defense is so fucking whack juice, man. Whack juice. When your center is a bad defender, that's like just being a hole on defense. His legs wide open. Everybody penetrates. And everybody gets inside, man. It's you don't need that in your life. You don't want that. Okay? His assertiveness is questionable. So is his leadership. Because really he should have made it straight. He should have said it straight with Jimmy Butler. I'm the man on this team. I'm the leader. Should have told Tom Thibodeau, offense is running through me, period. You're not going to have me sitting out there on the motherfucking baseline waiting for a three, waiting for a kick out three. Fuck no. I'm the best center in the league. That's what you should have said. I'm the best center in the league. Give me the damn ball. Go to work. Down in the post. Moving on from whack juice Karl Kitty Cat Towns, man. We'll see what he does this year. Hopefully he redeems himself after the Whack Juice playoffs. But move on to Jaylen Brown. Now, Jaylen Brown, him and a couple other players in this list, I think could actually become real deal superstars. So Jaylen Brown, I look at him, I think of Kawhi, right? I think of Kawhi with a little more offensive versatility. So with Jaylen Brown, his greatest strength is his athletic ability. Why? Because you can apply that all over the place on defense. You can make him into a Kawhi. I don't want to say 2.0 because he doesn't have hand size like Kawhi, but athletic ability is similar to Kawhi's. So you can approximate that and put him in similar situations and basically just get him to start playing more efficient offense when it comes to creating his shot. If you can squeeze out 19 to 20 points per game out of him, but have him be a lockdown defender, man, this man, Jaylen Brown, y'all gonna be talking about this man for years, 10 plus years if he does that. But he's got to get out of Boston. He's got to get out of there. The reason why is because he'll never be able to become that kind of player with that few of minutes on that squad. Because it's going to be him, Gordon Hayward, Jason Tatum, all fighting for minutes. You know, just how it is. Plus you got Marcus Smart. I mean, hey, he could stay there. He could work it out. You know, he could battle Gordon Hayward for that spot or Jason Tatum for that two guard spot. You know, he could solidify himself there. But he could just go somewhere else, you know, in a winning situation, just fill up a spot that somebody needs, especially if he went to somewhere like Philadelphia. I mean, but they're not going to trade him there. They're not giving up that piece. They wouldn't even give up Kawhi for that. But he can go to quite a few other squads and really do some damage, especially if Jaylen Brown went to the Rockets. Man, if he went to the Rockets, imagine him, James Harden, Kyrie. No, not Kyrie. Kyrie's on the Celtics. Him, James Harden, Chris Paul on the same squad, especially when they just need a 3-and-D on that small forward spot. And Jaylen Brown can do a little more than that. Rockets would be nice. Move on to Jason Tatum. I like his offensive skill set. Only thing with him is his weaknesses. I think he has a slow first step. You know, I think he's got a slow first step, and he has some defensive lapses at times. Even though overall he's a pretty good defender. I saw a couple defensive collapses, you know, this year in the playoffs. Well, you know, plus second half of the season, you know, he had a major slump, but he was a rookie, so we'll let him pass on that. But Jason Tatum is definitely on this list. That's someone you can build a franchise around too. You can say with Donovan Mitchell, man, he is like he fits that Dwayne Wade vibe, you know. He just comes in, you know, he's a I don't want to say a late bloomer. But because he came in, you know, he wasn't like a one and done type of player, you know, 22, 23-year-old rookie. They come in and they get it. They just automatic. There are so few players that get it as an NBA player when you walk in the door. So his leadership off rip was just boom, he's ready. You know, his offensive skill set is very comparable to someone of a Damian Lillard ilk, you know, except he doesn't shoot as much threes. In fact, I think he actually broke the record for rookie three-pointers, so I shouldn't say that. But he's not shooting from far out like Damian Lillard is, I should say. Only thing I'd say about his playing style is it's kind of injury prone, even though he's not injury prone right now. He hasn't shown that. But we've seen athletic guards like Dwayne Wade and you know, a couple other players like that, 6'4" and under, who are explosive, and it's just hard for them to stay healthy. It's very hard. They land down a lot. Plus, he's a huge dunker. You know, we don't want to see him land bad. Players like Derrick Rose and all those kind of other players, they rely on their athleticism. I'm not too worried about that with Donovan Mitchell because that motherfucker loves the spin move, yo. Watch some of his highlights. About half of them shits are off the spin moves. Shit is smooth, yo. With Donovan Mitchell, he's gonna be a great player. Hopefully, he's gonna be a great player. We move on to Andre Drummond. Surprisingly, he's still very young. I think he's like 22 or 23. Motherfucker was young when he came into the league, man. Shit's crazy. But Andre Drummond, his greatest strength obviously is his rebounding. Some of his weaknesses, though, is offensive versatility and his stamina. He's got to lose a little bit of that weight, man. But overall, Andre Drummond, if you put him around the right pieces, he could be a good player. He could be when I say good player, I mean, of course, he's a good player already. I'm saying he could definitely be a dominant player if you put him in the right situation. I just don't think he's working well with that Stan Van Gundy offense. I don't think that's tailor-fitted for him, but hey, we'll be able to work something out. Hopefully with his future, we'll be able to see what he can do. I think they just fired Stan Van Gundy, or they took away his privileges of being president, basketball operations, and head coach. I think he's only the head coach now. but they might have fired him for being head coach too. But then we got Brandon Ingram. Now his greatest, he's just a fucking penetrator, yo. This motherfucker just gets in the lane. Like, I haven't seen a player do this for a while now. Where he just give me the ball. It doesn't matter who. One dribble, 2 steps, they're at the bucket. You know, his only weakness would be shot creation, so things like step back, spin moves into jump shots, shit like that. You know, he's not creating too much right now. But Brandon Ingram's going to be a great player. The Lakers, if they do what they're supposed to do with him, he can be a very nice player. He's not Kevin Durant, a Kevin Durant kind of player. Those are once in a generation. I mean, they just get buckets. Buckets are nothing. Right? Players like James Harden, they don't come around often. It's very hard to find somebody who just gets buckets. And we got Devin Booker, speaking of Mr. Buckets, wet like I'm booked, head ass. This dude right here just gets buckets, yo. He just drops them. 70 points, that's all I have to say. He just drops them. He has 70 points on 40 shots. 40 shot attempts, all right? This man, Russell Westbrook, got 40 shots the other day. Not the other day. Sometime last year, and he only got like 40-something points. That's the difference between somebody who gets buckets and somebody who's trying to get buckets but cannot. There's a huge difference. All right, so Devin Booker, no matter how you flip it, you can put him into a good spot to be a great player. His total weakness is probably just his defensive intensity and his endurance. You know, stamina is a little questionable at times, you know. But we'll see, because he's still very young, you know, and it looks like they just got him some talent down there with DeAndre Ayton. So hopefully they'll be able to work something out with their offense. They got a good 2. They got a good 5. We'll see how DeAndre Ayton is. Potentially a good 5. We'll see how they do. And speaking of 5s, we're going to talk about, man, Nikola Jokic, the Joker. This motherfucker. Man, I've seen Nikola Jokic do some passes that remind me of Vlade Divac's passing. If you guys didn't watch Vlade Divac, dude could pass, man. That's a big man who could pass. There's some big men in NBA history who could pass. This man, Nikola Jokic, is one of them. I think he gets a little too much credit for his passing, not because he's not a great passer, but more because he brings a little more to the table than just his passing. I think people overlook his scoring ability, you know, because he can create so many opportunities for you on offense. He's a very valuable player. However, his defensive ability, man, is a little weak. He's got to learn how to slide his feet. He's got to lose a little bit of that weight. He's got to work on his stamina. You know, because you can't slide your feet. That's one thing that contributed to the Nuggets, that defense being so pissy this year, because he couldn't slide his feet. Then we move on to Lonzo Ball. Now, of all the players here, I think he probably receives the least amount of credit for his potential. It's not credit, more say least amount of attention for his potential. A lot of people, they've written him off as being a bust, but I'm sorry, when you stack up his numbers side by side against NBA great point guards who came before him, they're identical in certain spots. And then we look at the fact that, my man, have you seen this guy play defense? I don't think people have seen Lonzo Ball play defense. Lonzo Ball can lock down your favorite point guard, okay? You're not gonna have him on clamps, but he can shut your favorite point guard down, you know, on different nights. He can shut him down. He's a 6'6" point guard, all right? Let's get it right. He's a 6'6" point guard. Steph Curry's about 6'3", D. Lil's about 6'3", Chris Paul's about 6 foot, and he sticks with them pretty well with his footwork, all right? Lonzo Ball's greatest strength, in my opinion, is his court vision and his playmaking. All right, when you have a player like that who can see the floor, they can see it on a 3-dimensional level. I mean, like, it's like everybody is moving in slow-mo for them, right? Have you ever seen a video of him passing? Motherfucker passed through the car. It had like I forgot what the window was for his error of mistake, his margin of error. It was so damn small, man. This dude could still pass it through. This is a great passer right here, all right? Now his weaknesses, so he's a little injury prone right now. We'll see how he does his second year. He wasn't as aggressive as he probably should have been. However, I think people are making too much of a note about it, because if you saw the Lakers play with Lonzo Ball this last regular season, you could see that he makes a lot of his teammates play well. They play with a good pace. You know, they're not trying to run like the Warriors, but they play with a good pace, and he gives them good defensive play at the point guard spot. And he's a lot more athletic than people give him credit for. I seen him jump out the gym a couple times on some dunks, especially in Madison Square Garden. My man caught the alley and then looked at the camera so damn slow like he took your bitch or something. But hey, That's Lonzo Ball, man. He's got a lot of moxie on him. Very cool, calm, and collected. I'd take him as my point guard. But if I had to choose one player from this list to start a franchise with, if I could only choose one, the player that I would pick most likely would be Jaylen Brown. The reason for being so is because there's so many things I can do with him, and the rest of these players, they've shown that they've had issues with their playing style, that they could get exposed in the future. They could get injured because they're injury prone, or there's a lack of potentiality for growth. You know, there are a couple players in this list who might never jump. People like Andre Drummond, he might never get better. Everybody else, you know, they had problems with injury, you know, or their defensive effort, which is something that you just can't teach. You just can't teach it to them. They have to just get it. You saw James Harden this last season. He got it, you know, got into shape. He started playing better defense. They had to get it, or they don't, and I'm sorry. Not a lot of players on this list look like they're going to get it. If I had to take one player to start a franchise with, I'm taking Jaylen Brown. Looks like he gets it. He's got a lot of versatility on him. We can mold him into being a Kawhi, right? Because he's mentally strong too, he's intelligent. We can mold him into being a Kawhi. But if I had to take a second pick, I might take Lonzo Ball. Lonzo Ball brings a lot of things to the table. And regardless of what you may think, you need a good point guard. You need a great point guard to win. All right. So, that's it. But next video, I'll probably be talking about Jimmy Butler and what them boys are doing over there in Minnesota. But all right.